Hello and welcome to this short video presentation about weighted epsilon nets. Let us assume we are given a point set in the plane and we want to approximate it. In particular, we want to store geometric information about the point set without storing the whole set. We can do this with adding some points which satisfy some conditions. For example, whenever we have a half-plane containing enough of the original ones, then we would like the half-plane to also contain one of the new points. It's true for this one, and for this one, and for this one. And this is exactly the idea of an epsilon-net. Namely, an epsilon-net is a set such that every half space which contains enough points, namely an epsilon fraction, has non-empty intersection with our net. Let's go back to the example and see whether we have a net. For each half plane containing at least 5 of the points, of the black points, we see that it contains a red point. However, there are sets which contain 4 black points, but none of the red ones. And counting all black points, we see that this is a 5/19 net. Sometimes this is not enough, and we would like that the more black points a half plane contains, the more red points it also contains. This is the definition of an approximation. Namely, if we are given a finite point set and some value epsilon, then a set A is called an epsilon approximation. If for each half space, the fractional difference with respect to the black points and with respect to our approximation is small. Let's see whether this is an approximation. And now this set is quite a bad example. It contains many of the red points, namely 3 out of 5, and it contains only few of the black points, namely 5 out of 19. So what we essentially get is something like a 0.35 approximation. Now instead of half planes, we can work with different ranges. For example, convex sets, boxes, polyhedrons, spheres, simplices. You can think of many more. And for many of them, we know a famous result, namely that every range space of bounded VC dimension has an epsilon net of size at most order of d over epsilon times some logarithmic factor. And we also know that every range space of bounded VC dimension attains an epsilon approximation of a similar size. The most important part about these bounds is that they are independent of n, meaning it does not depend how large the point set really is. However, there are certain ranges which do not have a bounded VC dimension, and one example is the convex sets. We can always find such convex sets containing many red points, but none of the black ones. Hence, the results from before cannot really be applied here. However, we would like to have this condition of the more black points it contains, the more red points it should contain. Something like this. And this is exactly where our definition kicks in. Namely, given any point set and a weighted epsilon net is defined as a set of points, not necessarily the ones from P, and some values epsilon, such that every set in the range space containing more than epsilon I times n points of P contains at least I of the points. Let's do a simple example. We are given 7 points. We find some weighted epsilon net, Q1, Q2, and Q3. And I claim that this is a 2/7, 4/7, 6/7 net. Meaning that whenever a half plane contains more than 2 points, it should contain one of the special points. For example, this half plane, it contains 3 black points, hence it should contain one of the special points. Same is true for this one and this one, as well as this one. If a half plane contains more than 4 of these 7 points, then it should contain at least 2 of Q1, Q2, and Q3. So let's check it. It's true for this half plane, for this one as well, for this one as well. And whenever a set contains more than 6 of these black points, then it contains all 3 of the special points. This is in particular true because all these special red points lie inside the convex hull of the point set. Here another example with 5 points and 2 of them are inside. 2 of the special ones are inside. With this definition, we are able to see the main theorem of this short video. If we are given a point set of n points in general position in Rd and 2 values epsilon1 and epsilon2 satisfying 2 inequalities, then we know that there exists a weighted epsilon-net. To give you an idea of the proof, let us restrict ourselves to the plane, so R2, and let us further restrict epsilon1 to be 3/5 and epsilon2 to be 4/5. And exactly. So what does this mean? Whenever we have a set containing more than 3/5 of the points, it should contain one of the special points, like these ones. And whenever it contains more than 4/5 of the points, then it should contain both special points. So how do we find the special points? Let us halve the point set with a halving line L, and we define 2 classes of convex sets, A and B, and we put all the smaller sets, the ones containing more than 3/5 of the points, into A whenever the majority of their points lies above L, and we put them into B when the majority of their points lies below L. So this one is again put into A, and the bigger sets, the ones containing more than 4/5 of the points, they are put into both A and B. Now we claim that any 3 sets of A have a common non-empty intersection. So let's start by taking 3 big ones and assume that they don't have a common intersection. Something like this. Now we know that all of them contain more than 4/5 of the points. So clearly outside there are most n-fifth points. And in particular, the part not contained in their intersection also contains strictly less than 1/5 of the points. And now this is symmetric. So we see that the intersection of 2 big sets has to contain at least 3/5 of the points of P. Now we had 3 big sets without a common intersection. However, we see that if there is no common intersection, we get a contradiction as we only have n points. The same reason or the same arguments hold whenever we take 1 small set and 2 big sets, and also if we take 2 small sets and 1 big set. However, if we take 3 small sets, meaning all containing more than 3/5 of the point, then the reasons seen before do not go through. So let's consider this as a special case. Let's assume we are given A1, A2, and A3, and let's assume they don't have a common intersection. So A1, A2, and A3 without a common intersection. However, any 2 of them clearly need to have a common intersection. So let's take a closer look at these intersections. Whenever all these intersections cross the halving line L, we get a contradiction. In this case, A1 clearly intersects A2 and A3 as A1 is convex. It has points on the top, it has points on the bottom, so every point in the middle clearly lies in A1 by convexity. So it cannot happen that all these three intersections cross L. So let's assume that A1 intersected A3 lies on the right. Here I assume that A, the class A, was the sets which had their majority of points on the left side. So A1 and A3 were in A, so they had their majority on the left side. However, L was a halving line, so we get a contradiction. This cannot happen. So as no three intersections can intersect the line L, the last possibility is that A1 intersected A3 lies on the left side. However, A2 was also put into the class A, hence we again know how many points there are, and we again get the contradiction to the fact that L is a halving line. So our assumption that there were three sets, A1, A2, and A3, with no common intersection led to a contradiction. Hence the claim is true. So let me summarize a bit. Every convex set containing more than 3/5 of the points was put into A or B. Every convex set containing more than 4/5 was put into both A and B. And any three sets of A had a common intersection. So by Helly's theorem, there exists a point P in the intersection of all sets in A. And we do the same for B, and we get P1 and P2, the weighted epsilon net of size 2. So let me conclude. We introduced weighted epsilon nets. We have seen upper bounds for 2 points. And we as well studied upper bounds for 2 and 3 points with respect to axis parallel boxes. And we also studied lower bounds for 2 points. And these bounds are not tight, so one could try to make it tight, or one could also study different range spaces. So thank you for your attention.